Hello and welcome to House and Home Chat, Real Estate Real Talk with Dena and Chris. I'm Dena Mathis.
And I'm Chris Breitenbach. Hey, today we are coming to you from the beautiful Aberlin Springs in Morrow, Ohio, and where we are going to be chatting shortly with Leslie Aberlin, the president and the powerhouse behind Pendragon Homes in this amazing community.
And then in the Real Estate Real Talk portion of our program, we're actually going to share with you some information about the city of Morrow, where beautiful Aberlin Springs is located, and we'll real talk about all of the real estate opportunities here.
So Leslie, welcome and thank you for joining us today. We always like to begin our conversations with our guests with just having you share a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been a real estate agent since 1987.
Well, yeah, we're all on that page, right?
Yes, so we've done that for a long time.
Good for you, yeah.
And then started the home building company in 2004. So we're in our 16th year.
Wow.
Building homes, custom homes for Pendragon Homes. And then, you know, my final shining star project, hopefully, will be Aberlin Springs, which is my family's farm.
Mm-hmm.
And
right here, right where we are.
Right where we are,
sitting right in the middle of the chalet.
Oh my gosh,
yes, it's beautiful.
And if you are a listener and not a viewer, we do have our YouTube channel, so you got to get over there and check it out because it is amazing. This building that we're in.
And we have a lovely website that you can see all the pictures to, AberlinSprings.com, and then also the Pendragon Homes. But we have a whole website committed just to the farm.
Well, you've got an interesting history and a backstory about the home that we're in.
Right.
So tell us about that.
So this was actually my parents' retirement. They decided that they liked the more rural living and wanted to be somewhat close to urban centers, and picked this land and retired here basically, and built this home in the Swiss style. My grandparents were both immigrants from Switzerland, and my dad was very attached to that heritage. And so that's why all the buildings up here are timber frame style homes.
Really kept to your roots, or his roots, right?
Yeah, for sure. And then they built another house for my dad's mom, my dad's sister, and my mother's brother and sister-in-law lived up here. So there's 3 homes in total that kind of create this beautiful courtyard that we're sitting on as well.
It's gorgeous.
And they had an antique business in their retirement, so they have a warehouse, which we have now turned into our farm market. So there's a lot of infrastructure that was here, and it just completely lent itself to being part of a wonderful community.
And amazing, right? I mean, knowing that this was somebody's home, I can see the space, but it just looks like it's a Swiss chalet that's been here for the purpose of a community.
Right. So we do have a pond that's stocked full of fish and free-range kids who are running around the neighborhood.
We saw some kids on their
bikes and scooters.
Before I met the donkey, we saw the bikes.
Yeah, the kids are definitely free-ranging out here, and it's really a lovely thing. We have such a variety and diversity of people that are living here in Aberlin Springs. I'm building a house for a couple who are in their 80s, and I have quite a few in their 70s, and we just had 2 babies in the last 4 months. Actually home births here. So
oh my gosh.
We have,
are you involved in that too?
They were brave, way braver than me. I would not have done that.
Oh my gosh.
But we have something like 36 kids, and we have empty nesters, and so the diversity that came up here.
So the demographic is really diverse.
It's fabulous. It totally exceeded my expectations. Yeah.
So how many home sites are here right now?
So there will be a total of 136 home sites, and we're at about 60.
Okay.
Off the market and under construction. So we have 3 different types of houses. We have our courtyard houses, which are small lots, more like a row house, and those are ranch plans and also 2 stories.
Okay.
And they're 1,400 square feet to 2,800 square feet. We are a custom home builder, so I've never built the same home twice. And then we have our manor product, which is a more narrow lot, which is more front load garage, I wanted to really create a wide variety of price points.
Mhm.
And then we also have our estate houses,
Okay.
which are even a larger lot where you can do the side load garages.
So where do those points go from, like where?
So right now it's like 480 to $1.5 million.
Okay.
Okay.
I have contracted.
Okay, you do have quite a diversity in
Yeah.
price points and obviously in demographics. So
Right.
we've got some
And-
clients that, of course, fit all of that, right?
For those of us who have had some past experience with Pendragon Homes,
Yeah.
we're used to that estate level.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I had to create the manor and
Yeah.
the courtyard style. But, you know, I wanted to live up here and I don't want to live in $1 million home. And my mom, you know, needed something smaller. So there are a few things that we
Makes
do
sense.
as far as the home building goes that we do have, all of our homes are committed to geothermal heat.
Okay.
So every house has geothermal. And then I also have created, totally lost my thought.
That's okay.
That
Are you in different phases of development right now then, or?
Yeah, so we're in phase 3, so there'll be 5 phases total.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess the 3 different products and
3 different products.
It's great. And you could see as we were driving in,
Yeah.
I could I was
Yeah, you
gauging,
could tell.
and I've been to the website, so, you know,
Right.
I've done my due diligence, but what, we haven't hit the big whammy, and that's what makes Aberlin Springs so special and unique.
yeah, it's the farm. I usually start out talking about the farm instead of the real estate.
Yeah,
first.
yeah, we
This
just
is-
kind of went there,
This
but
is
that's
what throws me
okay.
a little bit,
Yeah.
but yeah, so this farm was my parents' retirement farm.
Okay.
And so they had all the family up here, and then as they all passed away, I actually had started the home building company, like I said, in 2004.
Mhm.
And then I got very ill with an autoimmune disease that literally almost took me out. So there's a couple facets of this farm. I was getting very sick. I realized that a lot of it was coming from restaurant food.
Mhm.
I was a single mom, so I spent all my evenings with my kids, but
Mhm.
lunchtime was a free-for-all for me.
Got
So
it.
I was
Yeah.
eating in restaurants a lot.
Mhm.
And started this autoimmune disease, and then went into the medical community, and they put me on all kinds of medications, and I was dying very quickly.
Oh my gosh.
So as we were looking at the next step, the doctors here all gave up on me and told me I really needed to go to Johns Hopkins or to Cleveland Clinic or a research type
Okay.
hospital. And as I was doing that paperwork and doing my will and figuring all that
my
out,
gosh.
I started
Hard time.
learning. It was bad. And I
Mhm.
started learning about functional medicine.
Mhm.
And that's where you build your body up
Right.
instead
Mhm.
of masking it with medications. So I just told my mom at that time that I decided I want to get off all the medication and just have my body be whatever it was when I went to Johns Hopkins. And
Right.
so I went cold turkey off of all the medications, and then I went on a raw diet, organic food,
Okay.
very limited meat. And I had such a healing within a month and a half
Wow.
that I was actually ready to go back to work.
So
Wow.
just 6 weeks.
So in 6 weeks, I went from using a walker with about 20% life force to, I would say, about 60% life
Oh
force.
my God, that's
Wow.
incredible.
Just from getting off the medication. And I will say I'm a canary in the coal mine. So like I react obviously more than most people, but we've always had a little bit of issues with medications in our families. We usually need to take less. That's within my entire
Mhm,
family.
Mhm.
But it was a combination. It was just really the perfect storm of my health. And
So when you went there, were you at that point, had you gone on the organic diet and
I actually
before you
didn't
went?
get there.
Okay. Oh, you didn't?
I didn't
You didn't
get
even
there.
get there because you healed yourself.
I healed myself
Wow.
with food and with functional medicine.
Wow.
So, you know,
That
I
is
flipped
amazing.
over and started supplementing. I had complete adrenal, failure.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so it was just
It was
building
severe.
back all the systems.
Mhm.
So I never got there. And then that was when, we got the inspiration. My mom was the last one standing here at the farm.
Mhm.
And we had never sprayed anything on this land. So
Mhm.
we had beautiful soils, which is very rare right now in the United States.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And decided to put the home building company around the the farm.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
I knew I needed access to clean meat as well as vegetables. And it's a chore, and it takes a lot for a family to know a bunch of different farmers to be able to get all of your food. And since we had the farm here, I just decided it was what we needed to do.
Well, your tagline, I think, or maybe it's not your tagline, but I've seen it on the website a few times. It's not how you live is as important as where you live.
Right.
So that really resonated with me when I read it. But hearing your story, I mean, you're truly living it.
Yeah.
And
well, there's
amazing.
I mean, everything here is so multifaceted, but I will tell you, I have 3 types of buyers. I have sick people like me who realize they have to have access to this food. And then I have young families who want free range kids. They don't want their kids stuck in the media. And so there are a lot of children up here. And then the other group are people who either remember spending the weekends at their grandparents' farms, or they lived on farms, or they've had access to gardening. And we are all so disconnected from our food.
Right.
And we are a very sick country. And getting sicker every single day. And so I can't help but get on my glyphosate and Roundup box that this is just wrong what we're doing. It is literally the single biggest injury we have done to this country is spraying Roundup all over our food. And it causes leaky gut, which causes all kinds of cancer and autoimmune disease and autism. And it is so prevalent in our society. It's everywhere. We're spraying it on our yards, and we're spraying it on our food. And as of 1996, they started drying our wheat with it, which is why people can't eat wheat. We're really not gluten intolerant. We are glyphosate intolerant.
So it's not really the gluten, is what you're saying?
It's not the gluten, because I can eat it in Europe.
Yeah.
Where they're not doing
so
that. I can eat bread in Europe. Yeah, absolutely.
But without the chemical. Is a whole different thing.
But we are now officially drying it on the stalk with Roundup, which is a gut disruptor, and it tears up your gut and it leaks in all these toxins into your system, and it is a very hard thing to recover.
So tell us a little bit about the farm here then. So the people that live in the community have access to the farm. Does anybody else? Can people outside of the community access the food here? Tell us how that works.
So again, fun story. But
Leslie's full of stories. We can story all day.
I'm definitely a storyteller. Yeah, that is my nature from birth. But so we do have, obviously the farm is the center of this community, and we took the golf course model. So that every home up here, your individuals own the homes, and then our amenity, instead of being a golf course, is the organic farm.
Okay, I understand.
How much farm space do you have?
So we have 50 acres left for the farm.
Okay.
And we just happen to be up on this plateau here. So what we've done is moved.
Beautiful grounds. I mean, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I think so too. But we moved all of the houses to the edge of the plateau.
Okay.
So they're a little tight shoulder to shoulder, but they all have these beautiful ravines and vistas behind them. So you have incredible privacy behind all of the homes. And then
it's been very well thought out.
Yeah, and you'll see when you tour the courtyards, we even have interior courtyards and private outdoor spaces that are designed into the homes, so that even the courtyard buyers have privacy.
Well, I can remember the Pendragon model over in Carmel,
right?
And that cool little courtyard out front. That was kind of a signature.
It is a signature thing,
very
and
signature,
that's my model
very
here
unique.
too, so you'll be able to see it again.
Okay, lovely.
I'm excited.
So we, as homeowners, most of us don't want to farm. So we have professional farmers that run the farm.
So if I buy a house here, I don't have to bring my hoe.
You do not.
Make that very clear.
You will probably never see me out there. So I'm always in charge of cooking and cleaning up, but I don't enjoy being out in the heat and the farming part of it.
Yeah.
But
so you've got
professional farmers, and they have brought up their own enterprise, because we really don't want to be employers as homeowners. So I have a farming enterprise up here, and the gentleman who runs it is also a permaculturist by trade and education. So that means working with nature and working with plants that go together. So he does forest restoration, and he really understands how to develop spaces that are either habitats or food. We actually have a free food forest here. which we'll have you ladies tour.
A free food forest.
Yeah,
What is
so
that?
what that means is we took a piece of property that is 80 feet by 200,
Mhm.
which is every end of the street, every church parking lot, there is this much land. And instead of mowing it for the rest of our lives, we planted 30 trees. And so you have the tree, upper story, and then you have the understory. And you put nitrogen giving plants with nitrogen, pulling plants.
Yeah.
And you just leave it all alone and let nature take its course. So he's got garlics and nuts and,
Oh, wow.
and herbs
Wow.
and artichoke, and
Oh
there's
my
cherry
gosh.
trees and peach trees and pear trees, and so it's all in a very small space. And right now it's really weedy because we threw it on the grossest piece of property I had. It was all tamped down clay from all the construction. So the weeds are actually doing a job right now, and they're breaking it all up, and they're creating all the space. And if you just leave it alone for a while, when you come back in 3 to 4 years, you're going to see just how nature works with itself.
So you've done a lot of research.
Well, I've let him do that.
Yeah.
That was his research.
Okay.
But I know enough about the way we want to farm.
Yeah.
We also follow Joel Salatin, who a lot of people know. He's written many, many books like Folks, This Just Ain't Normal and Everything I Want to Do Is Illegal. Because the other thing that's really important to me is that we start understanding how regulated our food is to the detriment of farmers. So we have a CSA program here, which is Customer Supported Agriculture.
Okay.
And what that means is we pay the farm at the beginning of the year, and we're buying actually a share of the crop. And
We as in the people that live here in the community?
Right, we
Okay.
as a CSA member.
Okay.
So most small farms use this model because it's the only way we can get around all the regulations. So
Okay.
I'm raising some pigs and sheep here, and I cannot sell that meat to my neighbor.
Okay.
It's actually against the law. But I can sell it to my members because
Okay.
they're all considered a member. So it's how we get around the regulations that are really not serving Americans or farmers. So we have that in place here. So yes, we do sell CSA memberships to people who don't live in the neighborhood.
Okay. That was the big question. Wow. All right.
You just have to get your name in here on a list because we sell out pretty quickly.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And then you pay that $850 at the beginning of the year, and then you have access as a member to our entire market, where we do have meat and prepared foods, which also I can't sell to the public.
Okay.
So you have to be a member in order to buy that. But we have open houses up here once a month. It's usually the second Sunday of the month. And if you look on our website, you can always see when it is. And then we're open to the public and our farmers here. We also have a chef who's brought up her enterprise.
Yeah, I was going to ask how does all this food get prepared? Are you in the kitchen or somebody else?
So I discovered really early that a lot of people are so disconnected from food, they don't even really know what to do with it.
Yeah,
and how to prepare it
yeah.
or to make the time. So that's why we.
And you get into these ruts where you're used to you cook with the same stuff over and over and over again.
Right.
You're not very adventurous.
The same 5 meals every week.
Right.
And so our nutrition, isn't as, we don't get all the nutrients that we should too from all of the, ingredients that are available.
And if you're buying food in the grocery stores, it doesn't have nutrition in it anyway.
Right.
So you can buy all these great, even when you're buying organic fruit and vegetables in the grocery store, they've been sprayed.
Oh, Leslie, don't
So
tell me that.
it's illegal to transport
So that,
without spraying. So if it's in a truck, it's sprayed.
It's sprayed.
That's
Like-
that's interesting and good to know. 'Cause
It is.
We don't know that.
That's why it's important to wash, for sure. You have to wash everything. And even then, organic just means they don't put certain chemicals in, but it doesn't mean the soils have any life in them. So we are actually a regenerative farm, which is beyond organic. So we don't till, because we're creating this whole mycelium structure in our soils,
in the land.
Yeah, well, it's like the internet, and it's fungal. And if you keep tearing that up, then the soil's not as
break
healthy.
down the nutrients.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
so
wow.
we're all constantly, we have a closed loop system. That's why we have the animals, because we use the manure for composting. And we do a ton of composting. So it's really trying to create the most healthy soils, and then we test our food. So, you can eat a carrot that has no nutritional value. It's literally just going to be toxic because it was sprayed, and then it's just going to be fiber. Or you can go to a farm where they care about their soils, and now you've got all the nutrient density that you actually need to build your body with.
But not as good as if I'm part of a CSA. Because
then it's all here, which makes it easy. Otherwise, you got to
sign me up. I mean, I'm thinking about all the money I spend on organic at your grocery store, and you're not even getting the nutritional value out of it that your body needs.
So what type of crops do you grow?
So we have quite a system up here. So we do all the basics because most people are still most comfortable with basics. So we have green beans and sweet peas, and we do not do corn. That we just don't do. It's almost impossible to grow corn now without spraying. But we have tomatoes and peppers and garlic and onions, and then they do some specialty things.
Okay.
We also have a mushroom operation, so we do all kinds of mushrooms. Nice. That kind of comes and goes during the season. We do microgreens. And microgreens are something that you guys should know about too, because a microgreen actually has 40% of the nutritional value of the plant that it becomes.
Okay.
So if you don't like vegetables, like if you don't want broccoli, you can get 40% of the nutrients from eating the microgreens, and you can just toss them on a salad or put them in a sandwich.
Wait, what are the microgreens?
So microgreens are a sprout.
Okay.
So it's when the
broccoli before it becomes broccoli is a sprout.
So we grow all different kinds. So we do kale and broccoli and sweet peas and sunflower.
Look at that.
We do all kinds of microgreens. So if you're trying to get higher nutritional value, especially if people are sick or compromised, sprouts are an amazing thing to eat.
Do you do a market?
So we do a market once a month.
Okay, and is that open to the public?
Yes, that is. So you just have to check our website. It's usually the second Sunday.
Okay.
And it's from noon to 3. And then our chef is up here, and she's demoing food, and the farmers are here. But we are open every day except Saturday.
Okay.
So you can always come up and tour the farm. The farmers are around, and and then we have a visitor center that's open every day. So we will tour people around and show them what we're doing, even if they don't want to live up here.
Show them what the community is all about. And obviously you can buy into the CSA, so that's a whole other layer.
Right.
Yeah.
But my dream is that every single neighborhood would have this farming component, because the young farmers coming into the industry, it's very, very expensive, and they don't have the money. And the old farmers, they've already been ruined. I mean, they already own their property. Their soils are damaged. They have huge investments in this huge equipment that are just gas guzzlers and all kinds of things. It just doesn't make sense to monocrop anything. And this is why we're getting sick from these big beef factories where they're all on top of each other. I mean, everybody knows what these chicken houses and beef factories are. The same thing is happening with the food. And it's not sustainable. It's making us sick. And people talk a lot about the victory gardens from after the wars, but that's how people used to live. And you two were just telling me about how you grow mint and your neighbor grows basil and the other grows tomatoes, and then you all share, and that's how they used to do it.
Yeah.
And we could do the same thing in a community, because homeowners have money. So this is why, I have a guaranteed cash flow for the farm, because every homeowner up here has the CSA membership. So now once we're full up in here, we'll have like $175,000 coming to the farm every year. Plus I have some other fees that we can get into later that actually end up at the farm too, because there'll never be enough money. You can always be building more and adding more and more infrastructure and that type of thing.
Well, what a brilliant concept, and one that I guess I'm not familiar with.
Right.
In this area. Are there others that you modeled it?
Well, we're
after in other parts of the country?
We're the first agri-community in Ohio.
Okay.
The closest one I know is outside of Chicago in Grays Lake, Illinois. It's called Prairie's Crossing. And then there's quite a few on the West Coast, some up east. But everyone has its own personality. So there's one in Atlanta called Serenbe, which is like Disneyland. I mean, it's like they have granite curbs and all the houses are like multi-million-dollars.
A Ferris wheel in the backyard.
And they don't even consider themselves an agri-community, but CBS picked them up, and they have a farm. But they said, they couldn't support. They'll have like thousands of homes there. They're doing prairie restoration, there. And then, each one kind of has its own vibe, because it's a maverick fringe dweller type of concept right now, which is sad, because this is the way we should be living. We should be creating little villages where our food is right here. And I start everything. Every time I go, I need to cook food. I start in my market, and then I make the list of the other things I need. So we don't have fruit up here yet. Well, we have strawberries. I just picked some this morning. So we do have berries, and we're starting our fruit trees, and we have some in the free food forest. But we don't really harvest out of the free food forest. That's really for other people to come up and learn about. We're creating a sign that's not there yet, which will explain everything. And we're hoping people will just come up and steal that idea. And we'll help them. And then Jacob, who's our permaculturist, he will help people set these up too.
Wow, okay.
And then we're permaculturing every single space now. So as I develop, my detention ponds are pollinators. Phase 1 was committed to butterflies and caterpillars. So all of the plantings and landscapes are host plants for
Wow, you've thought of everything.
Oh no, I keep learning. Phase 2 is all committed to bees. So we've even named our street, Honeycomb and Nectar, just to remind people. And then the farm sits right in the middle of the property. And so the other big, developmental no-no I did, which has been plenty, is I only single-sided the road. But, we're privately owned. I don't have, and I wanted to do it my way, so we don't have investors telling us what to do. So I could break some of these rules, but I wanted people connected to the farms. But what the surprise to me that I wasn't thinking of is we're building all these homes, they don't have anybody across the street from them. So you don't have another house and the big trees in front. So they have sky views in the front, off their front porches.
Imagine
they
that.
have ravine views in the back.
Yeah.
And everybody's out walking. So you'll see people walking their dogs and walking their cocktails and pushing their babies, and we're all kind of milling around, and there's walkers and bikers, and they're really, we have First Friday happy hours.
So it's a very
so
social
the homeowners
community.
really all know each other up
That's
here.
nice.
And I was hoping for that, but you never really know if it's going to take.
Well, and I think there is a need for that. I think there's people who are craving that.
We're lonely. We are a lonely society, and I saw
especially
that as
coming out of COVID, where
Right.
still here, but the hard times of COVID,
Right.
Well, I saw it before COVID. I mean, I built a lot of homes in Mason and Liberty Township, and people would just go into their garages and shut the door, and you don't want to be out
and
in the
hope you don't.
grass
Right, exactly. You don't
Hope
see
you
another
don't run into
person.
somebody. I just can't imagine.
Yeah, but people are lonely, and people that live here get it. And like I said, there are so many different walks of life up here, which is just fascinating to me. But they all want to be connected. They love having, the older people love having the little kids around. I'm seeing the little kids attaching to some of these older people. Now some of them are bribing them because they've got I know Rex and Jane always have ice cream that the kids can come get anytime. So there's a very popular home.
That's a popular home. They all gather there.
I like it. I
About
like
3 o'clock in the afternoon.
But they all just love Margaret. Margaret is one of these ladies who is just sunshiny and happy every day, and the kids will all be up on her porch and chit-chatting with her, and she always has something lovely to say to everybody, and the kids will wave to people, and people are out and about, and now we're all connected with the food, because a lot of people here don't know how, and they're learning about the food. So we prepare stuff together in the kitchen. We have this big, gorgeous demonstration kitchen, so our chef does cooking classes.
Okay.
Those are definitely open to the public.
So those are events that you hold here that are also open to the public.
But fill up quickly.
Yeah, everything fills up quickly.
Everything fills up quickly. I was looking at the
dinners.
cooking classes.
Yeah, and those are fun. And they have date night cooking classes, which are fun too. But sometimes we just will grab the stuff that's coming out of the gardens, especially once you get into the height of the season. Right now it's still a little thin, but when you get to the height of the season, and we'll just come together, a group of us will get together and we'll chop, and we'll bag it and freeze it, because really you want to keep this food for through the winter.
Right.
So you want to have enough that you're putting
Freeze
it up in the winter. And then sometimes we'll just put it like a soup bag together. So we'll put a bunch of things in that'll make a soup, and then you just freeze it, and then you pull it out and warm it up and blend it or whatever. So we're doing a lot of sharing. So we just butchered some lamb up here,
Mhm.
and we had the liver, and everybody loves pate. And I was like, I've never heard of lamb liver pate.
Yeah.
Would anybody eat that? I couldn't find a recipe anywhere.
Well, because you're going to use all the parts, right?
Yeah. So I just made, that was my Memorial Day weekend thing.
Oh, so you made it, not the
So
chef.
I
Even
made
you're
it.
even, yeah.
I was feeling very brave, and put a little herb butter on the top of it and started passing it around the neighbors, and it's a hit. It tastes great. So who knew?
That's great.
So we're all kind of playing with new idea recipes, and at the end of every week, a lot of times you'll see on our Facebook, people will be like, this is what I made with my weekly.
They'll share
and,
what they made with their food.
And they get a
Something
weekly basket.
Yeah. So
But
we
they
do
can
that for
buy other
27
things.
weeks. Yeah, and you can always buy more.
Mhm.
But like a lot of people didn't know what to do with turnips.
Mhm.
So that's why it's nice to have the chef.
I wouldn't know what to do with the turnip either.
Yeah. So she will leave recipes during the week. And then that's how we'll all share, like, this is what I do with our turnips, and she gives ideas, and that's why she does these demonstrations for people.
Well, and sometimes it's even if you've got it in front of you, right? All of a sudden, if you have turnips, you're going to figure out what to do with them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, when you have access to them, or
Right.
they're right here,
Right.
literally in your backyard,
Yeah.
front yard.
Right.
So-
and we just hope it doesn't take a crisis to get you to want to be curious about your food.
Well, that's, and we are in crisis, now that you say that word, because there is such a food shortage. I mean, we're not used to this, but in the last couple of years, we've all become accustomed to the fact that you go to the grocery store and the shelves are bare and you can't find what you need. And so we're there.
Yeah.
We are in a crisis.
Right. Well, and I thought I was doing a really good thing as a mom. Like, I would get those bags at the grocery store, those frozen bags, and rip them open, and they had meat and vegetables and pasta with a sauce, and you put them in there. And I was like, look at how lovely this is. It's toxic, but I didn't know. So like, it took me almost dying.
Getting sick.
To snap out of it, and now have a mission in life. People don't know, and it's so hard to even get the education. You got to work to learn it. I mean, it's just not out there, and we're just so media driven with the advertising that, and it's hard for the kids. Like my kids, it didn't know any better until they started going to school, and ever since they started school, it's a fight. So like my son now, he's got a driver's license, and he's down at Starbucks and Chick-fil-A. I mean, it makes me want to cry. But it tastes good. They like it. It's easy. It's cool.
And we talked a little bit about like that 80-20 rule type of thing, or just setting some sort of limits or boundaries.
Coming back, right?
Where you're not completely cutting yourself off, but you're able to enjoy some of those other treats, but in moderation, right?
Right.
Yeah, I totally am 80-20 because I love to eat. So,
I'm with you.
Well, and every so often you go out for the socialization.
Right.
Yeah, there's
a
social, right, exactly.
Right.
Well, that's my thing. Like I like to travel and I like to eat in restaurants. So, but I just know it hurts.
Right.
So
you got to find a balance.
I have to approach it differently. There's certain things I can't eat lettuce in a restaurant. I can't eat their salads, which you would think would be the safe thing to eat. But they wash it in a preservative, which they should. And it doesn't make everybody sick, but it definitely made me sick.
Made you sick.
So, and like when I travel, then I just eat, and I feel kind of crummy when I get home, and then I juice and get straight for a couple weeks, and I go back to my 80-20.
Yeah.
Because I love cheesecake.
It's a good way to be. When you deprive,
right.
When you deprive yourself
with your eggs,
that's
your homegrown eggs, right?
Yeah. You don't want to deprive yourself completely, and because that's food is enjoyment and food is life, right?
And restaurants are social, and honestly, we need to support our restaurants right now, or they're going to go away.
Right. So you, I know this is your baby, and this is, your passion. Is Pendragon building anywhere else?
Yeah, we build in other neighborhoods, and we do offsite. So, we have our own draftsman here on staff, so it makes my life really easy as far as being able to design plans.
And you have a model home here
we have
as
a model
well.
Home. I almost always have market homes.
Okay.
So I have 2 market homes right now.
Where are those?
In the courtyard product.
Okay.
So you'll see those. Those are over in phase 3.
Okay.
So,
Perfect.
I have a brand new plan I designed in there called the Fenwick, which I don't have on the website yet, but and then the York is our other one. Those are 2 stories. All of our homes have basements.
Okay.
We all of our homes also have a whole house water filter.
Okay.
Because I really feel like our first line of defense has to be clean water.
Is that are all of those things that you discussed that were standard in the homes only in this community, or do those are
Well,
there
I
different
let people
things?
choose
You let
when they're
people
building
choose. Okay.
offsite. I mean,
Okay.
here I'm pretty committed to it.
Right, I understand that.
Especially for like the air handlers. Like if you're in because we're a little tight shoulder to shoulder,
Mhm.
those condenser units outside are
Mhm.
loud. And now as a community, I know we're just pulling much
Got it.
less electric off the grid.
Got
Okay.
it.
And then our electric bills are really low.
Okay.
Well, Chris and I are excited to bring some people out here.
Yes.
And speaking of out here, tell everybody where you are, because you're right here, kind of in the close access to everything.
Yeah.
You're near Mason, you're near Lebanon, but
Right.
tell everybody where you
Well,
are.
we're actually in Union Township.
Mhm.
We're South Lebanon, geographically. We're Lebanon Schools and Morrow mailing address.
Mhm.
So we're kind of in the middle of everything.
Mhm.
But if you get off of 71 off at the 48 exit, we're right behind that Target and Kohl's. So if you just go through, between Target and Lowe's and take a left, you're 2 miles to the
It's kind of
community.
funny because you're in the hubbub and they're in the middle of everything, and then you drive up that hill and it's like,
Yeah, you feel
like
you-
you're in a different world.
Yeah, this little oasis, and it's just beautiful up here, and
Yeah.
we just love it. We
Thank
love
you.
it. We
Yeah.
appreciate all the valuable
Yes.
information. Is there anything that we haven't asked you that any final
I
things
think
you
it's
want to
just-
share?
What I like to share is that it's so hard to be able to see this online.
Mhm.
So you
Right.
just have to come up.
Mhm.
Yep.
And don't be shy to come up. We have a visitor center that's open every day, and there's so much to see and talk about that we welcome people to come walk around and see what's happening and figure out if there's a way for them to connect in here. So I guess that's my thing, is come up and meet people, and if you're out driving around and you see the walkers, drive slowly with your windows open, because everybody will come talk to you.
I
The
love
kids will
that.
talk
Yeah, I
to
do
you.
too.
Yeah.
The walkers will talk to you. If you come up around pre-dinner time, there's a lot of walkers. And
If we come up pre-dinner time, maybe we'll, wander into a kitchen and find some good food, some good eats.
Home-cooked meals.
Exactly.
Well, I consider this community to be a must-see.
Yeah.
Right.
Same.
It's something that I agree. Yeah, people need to come out. They
Yeah.
need to actually experience
Yeah.
to
You have
really
to
get the
experience
gist and
it.
understand it.
Yeah.
So I thank you for sharing with us today. I greatly appreciate it.
Oh, well, the more people out there telling the story.
Right.
We're so busy building houses, and we have yet to have a break. I mean, we've got a position hold list for phase 4 already with 20 people
Nice.
on it. So, so
Well, we
we're
will
just going in.
definitely be back. We will
Yeah.
definitely tell some of our clients about it and actually
Good.
bring them up to see some of your product, and we'll go
Yeah.
check out your models here as
Yeah,
well.
wonderful. That's
All right.
great.
Excellent. So our small business shout out of the week goes to Leslie Aberlin and the Aberlin Springs community.
Yeah,
So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Leslie.
Oh, thank you.
So once again, I want to say thank you to Leslie Aberlin for joining us today and sharing with us the concept of this amazing farm housing community.
It's such a cool concept. I mean, and really until you see it, you don't quite understand it.
Right.
Yeah, so Chris and I are super excited to bring our clients here, and anybody else who's listening and curious about this community, just give us a call and we're happy to schedule some time and bring you up here.
We'd love to.
Yeah. So here we are in Aberlin Springs, which is located in the postal area of Morrow, Ohio, which is north of Cincinnati, about 40 miles north. It's in Salem Township within Warren County, and there's a lot of history in this community. I know that you're our history, my history
So
buff.
my little nuggets.
Always have those little great tidbits. So
Yes.
what do you know about Morrow?
So what I wanted to do was pull the little village of Morrow, and the village of Morrow has this chock full of history. And probably the most interesting thing is it's named after Jeremiah Morrow. So Jeremiah Morrow was the 9th governor of the state of Ohio.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Well, and the reason it rings a bell for me and probably some of you is there's a Jeremiah Morrow Bridge
Okay.
that goes over 71. And I have a dear friend who worked on that project, actually, and a friend's daughter, and one of my past clients who was an engineer for bridges, who was involved in that project. So,
Okay.
you know, I've done my research on him because
Jeremiah.
of that.
Mhm.
But it was established in really 1844 to the 1845 area.
Mhm. That's some,
Old.
Yeah, that's some
It is
time
one old area.
ago. And like many villages and towns, the growth of the railroad led to the development in this area, with two actual railroads passing through Morrow as early as 1837, which of course brought people and housing and the growth of this area.
Yeah, and we love that growth, and with it, it brought a post office,
Mhm.
and the original post office was established in 1845 and is still here.
Oh, it's still the original.
Still there. Well, I don't know if it's the post office,
Okay, but the building.
The building
Okay.
from
I'm like,
1845.
I guess that makes sense. I'm like, wow.
For something current, two of the members of the musical group Blessed Union of Souls are from Morrow, Ohio.
Wow.
I like them. They're a great group.
That's a fun little tidbit.
I love my
there.
nuggets.
Yeah, and there's lots of great businesses located in and around here. Actually, a few that we frequented. Quite a bit when my son was younger. There's the Big Tree Plantation,
Mhm.
where we would go, get our tree, and they always did things in the fall also, like tractor rides and fun things there. And there's also the Christmas Ranch. So those are two of our favorites that come to mind. We spent some time there over the years.
So of course I'm a different direction, and Valley Vineyards.
Oh
is a
yeah.
part of it. But also the workshop of David T. Smith, where his work is amazing. Isaac's Shaker Hill, which sells furniture in the area, and of course Bellwood Country Club.
Bellwood Country Club, and like you mentioned, there's the Valley Vineyards.
Yes.
So who could forget that? I think if you haven't visited that place, you should at least once, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So there's lots of great events also that are here and around this town of Morrow for anyone to attend, including the ones here at Aberlin as well. So you can come to, I think you can register online typically for any
Go to their
of the
website.
events that they put on here. I see them on Facebook all the time, actually, and so they probably have links that lead you right there.
Again, another good resource to find out what's going on here and join the fun.
Yeah.
There's also, such an array of small businesses and small shops in the area too. So definitely worth your time and energy to come and explore the area.
Come and check it out. And the housing in Morrow is diverse as it is right here in this community. It's also diverse in the area. Being a small area, it's only just a little over 2 miles. The real estate activity, kind of reflects that, because there's hardly anything right now. Actually, there's nothing right now that's active.
Which isn't unusual.
Yeah,
just given the market that we're in.
Yeah.
However, there are some pendings.
There are some pendings.
So there are 4 pendings and 37 homes that have sold since the beginning of the year. And these are just the homes that have been recorded in the MLS. So their price ranges are 160 to about 530 for the homes that have sold in 2022 thus far.
And some new construction as well, obviously.
A lot of new construction.
Yeah. And there are several new communities here, like Aberlin Springs, Woodlands of Morrow has several builders also. And I know that you've recently brought some clients up to.
Yeah, I was in the Woodlands of Morrow, and Hopewell Valley is another new construction. Looked at some D.R. Horton products. Ryan Homes is in Woodland. I think Todd Homes is in Woodland too. So various new construction products. And just let you know, those aren't always included in our MLS stats.
Yeah, so you would have to, again, reach out.
So there's more going on here, I guess.
Yeah, reach out to us, and we would be happy if new construction is something that you're looking at. Be happy to help you in that area also.
Yeah, definitely. And as always, if you want to explore a new home or an existing home in this area or another area, that's what Dena and I are here for. We really have this passion for knowing the entire market and being able to help you expand where you're looking and what you want to do. We can be reached at Dena and Chris, realtalk@gmail.com. And Dena, thinking about new construction, it's a different animal.
It is. It's different. And we talk about, strategy a lot in these podcasts and the strategy that's right for you. And so there are so many different moving parts to new construction. And Chris and I are here to help you navigate through it. It is a challenging market. So you really, having a realtor who has a fiduciary responsibility to representing you is critical in this market. And we can also help connect the selling part with the buying part, and especially if it's new construction, right? I mean, the timing of that can be challenging. So there's lots of different moving parts to new construction, and we're here to help you whether you're selling or buying or both.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I just want to say thank you for exploring Aberlin Springs with us today in the village of Morrow. This has been House and Home Chat, Real Estate Real Talk with Dena and Chris.
And we're excited. Next week, we're going to be coming to you with part 2 because we are going to be talking with another homeowner in the Aberlin Springs community and get her perspective. So we'll be looking at a different perspective of somebody who lives in the community and why she chose this community.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us on House and Home Chat, Real Estate Real Talk with Dena and Chris.
Bye.